Kill la Kill episode 9. Viewer comments. I've had a lot of fun already talking about this episode. This has been crazy. And the viewer comments are exceptionally awesome this week. Really appreciate everyone's participation. Let's go ahead and get started. John Hawks. I love this episode. Gamagori is by far my favorite 3-star. When he pulled out the student molder, I couldn't stop laughing. He was literally going to mold Ryuko into the perfect student. This kind of visual puns are what makes Kill la Kill for me. A lot of people call this show mindless, but I don't agree. The jokes are very clever, and there are a ton of references. Before I finish, the only thing I've heard so far is that people are angry about the fan service. That's pretty much it. I haven't. Mindless. I mean, this thing has so many layers into it. I can't even remotely see that. I'd have to really push back hard on somebody to say that. Anyway, agree with you there. All right, continuing on. I think Turtleneck Dude is going to be a lot like Kima from World God Only Knows, applying his knowledge from the virtual world into the real world. That's the vibe I'm feeling for this preview. I have no idea what his uniform is going to be. Maybe a Tron outfit. One of the things is this guy, his ability to think through, to plan. He's been watching, and I think once again, what's going to keep being a big part of what's so successful, of course, is the suit. The suit's knowledge and understanding, since Ryuko and the suit are partners. If anything, the suit's tried to save her life, and throwing his own life away to do it. So that's what he's gonna get messed up with. Is that the suit, of course, will come out with another genius idea. Appreciate your comments. Elijah Lawson. Good review. Only thing I want to mention is that Gamagori finally moves the press. Looks more like the generic 1-star female, so it's safe to say Gamagori has been pressing newly minted 1-stars, and Mako was pressed because club president's members don't get pressed, it seems like. There's a lot more talking about the Mako and the press, though, because I did say a couple of times it looks just like her. All right, appreciate your comment. KX Mixer X. This episode went really far in terms of being inappropriate. Yes, it did. I won't spell it out, but the scene just before Ryuko is absorbed into Gamagori's armor comes to mind in particular. Stop for a moment. During my review, I did the looking in the camera because, yeah, okay. All right, continuing on. It was a good episode other than that. I'm really excited for this upcoming fight. The name of the guy escapes me at the moment, but he seems like the kind of guy that would be defeated by his own superiority complex. A side note, I can't wait until Ryuko stomps that little musical girl. I can't stand her smug little face. Band Hat Girl is a smack talker. She's got it coming. Yeah, it was way inappropriate. It was way the ultimate whip of love. Yeah, that was pretty clear. Yeah, and the suit bit into it, and I heard, I didn't see it, but I heard somebody else told me that Ryuko actually bit into it. So yeah, pretty outrageous. Moving on. Okay, they definitely went over. They went over whatever. There are a lot. There's an A line. There's lines, and there's the gray area. They went past the gray area there. That way, it really was past it. So, Connolly Bob 9. This was a really great action-packed episode. It felt like a 3-episode fight pressed into one. I hadn't noticed the mold's resemblance to Mako at the first time watching because it went by so fast, but it gave me an excuse to watch it again. I'm not sure this means that Mako has been molded by him for a couple reasons. You listen, really good reasons here. There was a scene in episode 4 where some dialogue between Mako and Gamagori. He was berating Ryuko for wearing pajamas on her way to school. Mako came to her defense and learned that Gamagori sleeps in the nude. So she asked him to please wear pajamas for the sake of his health. This caused him to ask for her name, and she said that he'd remember it from now on. It didn't seem like they'd ever met face to face before, and he was taken aback like someone who had never experienced this character and her Mako-ness before. Awesome point you're making, and I'm going to make a possible counter to this. If indeed he has this one mold and they all look alike, then there would be other girls that look just like her. So maybe he had to ask her name because she looks a lot like some of these other pressed Mako girls. Possibility. You're giving an awesome example, but I'm throwing that out there. All right. I really want Mako to be pressed. I want to go through the whole thing, like I say, of finding out that she was somebody else, and then maybe this whole thing, does she want to stay the way she is here? Does she want to go back? Can she transition? Is that her thing? Was her personality more like Ryuko? Was she more rebellious before? Is that one part of the reason that she's so attracted to Ryuko? And I just, the whole thing of this just would be genius. But if it doesn't happen, whatever. So it's more to me just that the storyline's the possibility. But you give it pretty good, that's one really good deal. So, but it doesn't completely annihilate it. So, all right, you get some really good points as always. Back to here, starting again. If Mako has been physically molded in this, should we have seen many others in the school who look like her, or at least similar? What we have seen is boys and girls, like in the pull-away shots, if I'm correct, that look like they've been molded. But just walking around, no, it doesn't seem like it. So that is kind of strange. I'm not sure how she is perfect student either, because she sleeps during class and is willing to be friends with Ryuko, someone who's openly defiant towards Satsuki. She is supportive of Mako's sluttiness with her uniform, which Gamagori was critical of because it, quote-unquote, all that she has in life. It would be an interesting twist if Mako's been molded by Gamagori. And you could be right. I think it's also possible that the similarity of Mako could just be symbolism for the idea that the perfect student is someone who lives in the slums, has no ambition to move up in life, and just does as they're told. As for the fights themselves, gosh darn it, Ryuko is cocky. Thinking she can take all of the Elite Four at once. Did you forget about, here's another big name, Senegiyama, and the whooping he so thoroughly gave you? That's just one member. She was also only capable to defeat Gamagori by tricking him. How will she be able to stand against 3 more of these guys in one day? I think one possibility is that the life threads that Senketsu absorbs from the 3-star uniforms could give her some significant power boost. I want to stop here just a moment. We don't know what those things do, right? But what you're pointing to is there could, at some critical juncture in the future, those could be used to get some crazy, ridiculous power-up, or more than likely a transition, another form that she can transform into because she's collected all that stuff. All right, continuing on. Awesome points. In comparison to the weaker threads from before, she certainly would have to keep her wits about her like she did in this fight. She certainly have to keep her wits about her like she did in this fight and find out what their weaknesses are, both physical and mentally. The turtleneck guy's name is Haku Ainumuta. He seems to be about observing strategy and gathering data, so he'll possibly have a counter strategy for all of Ryuko's attacks. He might also deduce the natural weak points of her uniform since he has authority over the popular sewing club school. A really good point there because he knows the uniforms. I think she might have to beat him by letting loose and attack wildly without strategy, or rather by changing her strategy with every second faster than his analyzing skills can keep up with. there was, what was it? Oh, just in Fairy Tale, there was that one that copied all your moves, and they ended up overloading him. So that's kind of what you're saying. You have to overload him. But I still think it's gonna what's gonna happen is the suit's gonna do the same thing. Senketsu is gonna be able. The suit's gonna be able to figure out a strategy, because whereas Turtleneck Dude his suit is just a slave. Okay. Roko's isn't. So he's really going to be fighting against two minds instead of one. And I think that's still going to be. The suit's going to end up coming. He's going to see something, understand something, and be able to counter it. And that's how they're going to win the end. That's just my feeling. Awesome points. Conley Bob 9. Awesome points as always. KX Mixer X. Now, KX Mixer X, I think you know that you can make much bigger comments altogether if you want. Or you can make a bunch of them. You can do what you want. Just reminding. Okay, and a few comments from KX Mixer X. As for the mold looking like Mako, I feel like that was the case. We would have seen at least a hint about her true appearance in the one episode where she got her own Goku suit. I could be wrong, though. We'll see. Like I say, it's more hopeful to me, but it's kind of doubtful. It might be too clever by half, but it would be fun. And continues on. I'm excited to see more of Senketsu's transformation. You know what? The suit has more transformations than the one we've seen so far. It's a Kamui, a suit made entirely of life fibers. The power it holds must be endless. It seems my first comment didn't register, so I have to write it out again. Sorry about that. As best as I can, if you can, Rampage, read this one first. Well, I'm reading it last, so I'm already kind of sorry about that. And, alright, sorry about that. I was a bit shocked by this episode in the terms. Oh, well, one thing about these, I don't want to harp on the change, this whole Google Plus thing, but it takes a while for these things to register. I didn't see a copy, so, I mean, it's really, it'll say like, okay, there's 9 comments here, and I click on it, and it's like 4. And it seems to take a while before I can it seems to register that they're there before you can actually see them sometimes. So, I don't know. Anyway, continuing to read on. I was a bit shocked by this episode in terms of appropriate content, or inappropriate, I think you mean. I'm not going to spell it out, but the scene right before Roko is wait a minute, did I already, holy cow, did I already read this? Did I already read this? Did I already? Yeah. Evidently, this seems to be... This, I guess, is what I'm saying. It looks like I did read your comment first, because it looks like you're saying the same thing. I won't spell out the scene right before. Okay, so, and it looks like you're talking about it again. So, that's just what I was saying. It may take a while before it registers here. So, it may take a few hours or whatever. That's what I've noticed. And it looks like you're... But I'll go ahead and read this one, because it looks like a different version of the same thing. I'm not going to spoil out. The scene right before Roko is absorbed in Gamma Ray's suit comes to mind in particular. Other than that, it was a great episode, probably my favorite since episode 3. This was, yeah, I'd agree with you. This was an amazing one. I'm excited for the next battle. This guy's name escapes me at the moment, but he seems like one whose own superiority complex and overconfidence would be his undoing. I'm excited to see Roko stomp that musical girl's name that escapes me. I hate her smug face. Okay, it's basically, well, you pretty much, that's actually a little bit longer than the other one, but awesome. I really do appreciate your comments, and I accidentally did read the one that you, I guess, thought didn't make it through first. So that was awesome. All right, let's go ahead and do this. Have one more to go, and before I read the last comment, so the whole thing with Mako was fun. Whichever way it goes, I mean, maybe I just, like I say, maybe I just read too much into it, and it wasn't that big a deal. But another thing is names in particular. If I could find an easy slang or something that I don't have to stumble over, I'll use that. So that's just what I'll do. All right, NW Order for Life. I love, you guys make, I have to say, I really do, this is so much more fun being able to enjoy this. I talked to other people about this show, but this is freaking awesome. This just makes me enjoy it so much more. Just on a personal, self-centered level. it makes me a lot happier. And I hope people enjoy this too. It's just freaking awesome. The series is awesome. Individual for Life, another amazing episode of Kill la Kill. I really enjoyed the fight, and I thought the way Roku won was creative. And as you said, Steve, made perfect sense. It seems that Senketsu is Roku's secret weapon. Absolutely. And the fact he is even more, his intellect is, even more valuable as a sentient supporter than just a lifeless battle uniform. It's just like the tailed beast in Naruto. To me, it's the same thing. I guess I've now seen enough in anime that I'm starting to, other people that have seen a lot of anime, a lot more than me, you start seeing the same similar stuff, and so now I'm maturing as a anime watcher. Yeah. Once again, I didn't understand Gamagori's change of heart with Satsuki in the flashback, nor how he became the bondage masochist character. That I just leave to the Japanese in bondage. They kind of like created it or something, so it's just there. So, but the whole thing of the change of heart, that was the biggest disappointment I've had this entire series. I had a long discussion with my brother-in-law about this, actually, and I think I mentioned it in the review. I did mention it in the review also. The transition, they just needed to spend another minute or two to sell us on it. He just flipped to, okay, 2 years, okay, I was fighting you, I'll never kneel, and then, I'll join you, 2 years, I'll help you, take over to school, okay. Yeah, they really needed to massage that and make that work a little bit. It did not work. Especially when he was so against her ruling by force, yet he submitted to her because she beat him by force. However, I did enjoy the flashback, if only because I got to see more of the young Satsuki, and we even got the insight in why she created the Hanuji Academy. It seems clear to me that Satsuki wants to change the world for a good purpose. She keeps saying how people are pigs in human clothing, and that might makes right. We thought this meant she was looking down on others, but now I think it means this is how she has been treated since she was young. Or, the very at least, she's experienced being others treated this way. Animal Farm. The book Animal Farm. Orwell. This is what's going on here, okay? It explains communism. I just had to pause here into this. Capitalism has a lot of problems, okay? Don't misunderstand what I'm saying here. But communism has a lot of problems, and it's even more of a lie, if you know what I mean. So that's the thing, is that the pigs were actual. They had different animals, and the pigs were in there. And some of the quotes, they did a revolution. They took over, and everything was evil or equal. And then later on, everyone's equal, but some people are more equal. So they were creating the upper strata of people instead of everybody, which is what communism does, of course. It ends up mirroring capitalism and these other systems anyhow. Okay. And that's what's going on here. That's the pig reference. It's Animal Farm. It's the whole communist thing. That's why I say there's levels to this show that aren't readily apparent. So, continuing on. So it is, like I say, it isn't her. It's her outlook that me and you, human beings in general, are so bad that we can't govern ourselves. So there needs to be a small group of people on top suppressing the majority to make sure there isn't chaos. Okay, that's what's going on. She might, like I say, Animal Farm, Orwell. It's one of the critical things in understanding how the world works. Trust me. It'll just keep. It's there all the time. You just see it. Okay, she must be trying, and like I said, there's videos on it. You hear people. If you don't want to read the book or anything, you can listen to people talking about it. YouTube, Orwell, Animal Farm. Just have a field day. All right, or don't. Do what you want. She must be trying to stop this world where people are pigs. She wants to create order because she believes order brings peace. The way she saved Gamagori from killing himself is just another indication that she doesn't really want bloodshed. She just wants change, and I think she saved him because she cares about him as her subordinate. Anyway, I wouldn't be surprised if Roku ends up fighting alongside her in the Elite Four against a new evil. Either Satsuki's mother or maybe the rival school. There's so much potential for the season of this content. This is crazy. So we've got, okay, we're 9 episodes in, and we've got, what will it be, 26, 28 total episodes? Holy cow. Is this going to be insane. And when this series is over, I'm going to start watching the series that these people created before. And so I have a lot of enjoyment to go. Continuing on, reading your comment. Oh, before I forget, Steve, that Professor Nudist guy didn't just stop time. He pinched Mako. Oh, this is an awesome thing you're making here. He pinched Mako and made her stop. This is probably a reference to the Fist of the North Star, where the main character control a person's body by striking pressure points. Kind of Vulcan-like, I guess. Also, think Gamagori's mold was not of Mako. I believe the explanation to the great kind of Bob 9, which I already read from. Awesome stuff there. Yeah, so what do I think after reading this? Everyone's comments. It's probably not. It's probably not. Mako is probably not pressed. I think this is probably too clever by half, but it would be so much fun. Anyway, awesome, everybody. Once again, I appreciate so much. You're leaving your comments. You're stepping up. And it's already, I don't even have that many views, but I have awesome 44 views and have like 9 awesome comments. That is unbelievable. Like I say, I'll compare my percentage of awesome comments percentage-wise to my views to anybody. You guys are freaking awesome. Anybody can be an anime fan. You can always subscribe. You can always unsubscribe. You can do anything you want to. Until next time, take care.